Enjoy your meal. Tip your waiter.
And visit us.
Visit Baton Rouge and visit www.floridastreetblowhearts.com.
What table? Oh, right here. I'm gonna go.
We'll go ahead and get started a little bit early. You can't have a fanfare like that and then leave people hanging for 8 minutes till 12:15, and so I'll go in and start now. Jill Kidder is the president and CEO of Visit Baton Rouge. It's the Convention and Tourism Bureau for the city. She's spent 37 years in tourism-related fields. We were talking before the earlier today, she's not just been Louisiana. She's worked, promoted tourism as a lobbyist. I believe you said Connecticut, worked in tourism there and other places. And so she's been around. It turns out that she's from Pine Prairie, Louisiana, which is like the name implies, there are pine and there are prairie, and it's a little town about 3 miles from where my wife was born, all about the same time, and they may have all been delivered by the same doctor, because I think Mamu at the time was a one doctor town, and might still be a one doctor town. So anyway, Jill will speak to us on basically the attempts to make Baton Rouge the tourist destination. Of course, we have a huge city, down the road, but we also have interesting things here: good food, good music, good university. There's a lot of things that Baton Rouge has to offer as well. And so, let's welcome Jill Kidder to the press club.
Thank y'all so much for having me today. I wanted to take just a minute, if y'all don't mind, and introduce this special table here of women who have joined me today to be a part of the celebration. This is our senior staff, all but one actually, at Visit Baton Rouge, and I wanted to introduce Laura Lynn Moranto. She is our senior executive Vice President in charge of administration. Laura Kading, who's our Senior VP of Marketing and Communications. We're going to learn about all these departments in just a minute. We have our Director of Finance, and we all love her because she keeps us straight on that big budget. And I also just want to applaud her because she just had a perfectly clean audit, legislative audit, by the way, so we are very excited about that. And then I also want to point out our experience in servicing Senior VP, Stacy Simon. And Stacy is really who brought that band here today and let you guys experience a little bit about what we do for our conventions and meetings and events when they're coming to town. So we wanted you to have that experience too. And it's also National Travel and Tourism Week that we are celebrating. So we wanted to just share that celebration with all of you. It's an annual tradition, and it really does celebrate the value of travel for our economy, our businesses, and really and truly just our personal well-being. As all of you know, when we travel, we enjoy being educated, we enjoy relaxing, we come back rejuvenated. Travel is an important part of what we all do personally as well, and not just for our economy. Travel and tourism really does make each of us in Baton Rouge better, and makes Baton Rouge better, guys. It truly does. And I'll share with you a few ways today about how that happens. But tourism supports things like the things we really hold dear, and which is our food culture, our festivals, our arts, our heritage, and even our infrastructure, our education, and our safety in Baton Rouge. Visit Baton Rouge's mission is to increase visitation and awareness of the great capital region, thereby enhancing the vitality of our area. We are, as we say, a true economic development organization. And it's interesting because I don't know that our organization has really ever been considered that in the past, or any of the other convention and visitors bureaus in the area, but it is truly an economic engine. Our vision for the Baton Rouge region is to be a nationally recognized premier destination. That's what we want. One where our visitors leave here and share what an incredible, memorable experience that they had in Baton Rouge. We want it to be a place that people say, you must go to see what they've done, and you have to visit. We also envision a place where residents will value the contribution that visitors make to the economy and our quality of life, because when we improve our area for a visitor, we also improve it for each of us as well. We want our residents to be proud to call this home, and we also want our young professionals to want to stay here after they graduate. And we all understand how important that is to our community. We also, as an organization, have identified our values and what we believe we hold dear as an organization and as people who work there. We want to promote a culture of diversity, equity, and inclusion. And at the same time, we value our partnerships like this with the media and all of you. We value creativity, integrity, kindness, and simply put, hard work. We also value what we call that authentic Louisiana culture, heritage, and traditions in all that we do. And we want to be sure that those things are sustained and shared. Essentially, what Visit Baton Rouge is all about and why we exist is to build a better Baton Rouge. That's plain and simple. That's what we want to do. In fact, a colleague of mine, she's actually from Irving, Texas, and she, I think, had a very pointed quote when she said, if you build a place where people want to visit, you build a place where people want to live. And if you build a place where people want to live, you'll build a place where people want to work. And if you build a place where people want to work, you'll build a place where businesses have to be, obviously, right? And if you build a place where businesses have to be, you build a place where people have to visit. And now, as we all know, you can just about work anywhere you want to work. You're not tied to an office building or a particular destination. Folks are choosing where they want to work and can work remotely. And so we want to build a type of quality of life in our area that attracts those folks. And we often say that an economic development decision, whether that is to move your business here or to move here yourself, you come here as a visitor first. You think about that. That is the first way that you visit a destination now. And it used to be when a company was thinking about moving, they would come find land and say, oh, this would be a great place. It's got all the natural resources. It's got the transportation we need. Now, the first thing, the questions that they're asking are all about quality of life. And what do you have to offer our employees? And so we understand that, and we want to help create that destination that people want to visit and to live. With millions of tourists coming to visit every year, the money they spend gives us the opportunity to make the city we love even better. 7.2 million people visited Baton Rouge in 2022. And our the final 22, we estimate, so our final 2022 numbers won't be in until somewhere around the end of the summer. But we anticipate a significant increase in those numbers. When people visit our community, our economy thrives, but whether it's for business or pleasure, folks who visit here help support local businesses across entertainment, dining, recreation, retail, and more. And in fact, more than 39,000 jobs are supported in the tourism industry in the greater Baton Rouge area. We just got this report done in conjunction with the Baton Rouge Area Chamber that did some research for us. And they've also shared with us that these are good jobs. Over 2,000 of those jobs in this area have a median income of over $50,000. That's a strong statistic. Those are definitely living wages. And I told somebody just today, as a matter of fact, that some of those jobs, like in our office, there's good sales jobs and accounting jobs, human resource jobs, jobs that are paying really good wages. And our hotels and our restaurants and other places have these same jobs. And if you're willing to work hard, you can get into an entry-level position and move very quickly through our industry. Our recent research also shows that those visitors spent about $450 million in the area. Now, I don't have to tell you what kind of taxes that generates and how much that can save each of us. In fact, the statistic, I think it's up on one of our poster boards, says that every person, every household in the state of Louisiana would have to pay more than $1,000 a year in additional taxes if our visitation went away. And that would just be to maintain the current level of services that we have now. Visit Baton Rouge has long been known in the traditional sense as a convention and visitors bureau or a destination marketing organization, and really our function was to market. We marketed, you rarely saw anything that we did because we marketed to people outside of our area and into a drive market usually. We also marketed to some regional and national conventions, and we also marketed to international visitors. We still do all of that. But what we understood was clearly that we needed to create a strategic plan that took us to more of a destination management and marketing organization. So our board, about a year ago, came up, hired a consultant, and said, you know, what we want to do is really take a look at all of those things that affect our visitors. And they set out to create a strategic plan for our organization. Marketing will get a visitor here once, and that's very costly to do. We spend a lot of money to get a visitor here. But will that guest stay longer, tell others good things about our area, or even come back if they don't, if we as a community and as an organization don't address or assist in managing the issues that affect that experience? And I don't have to tell you what those issues are. We all know them. And probably that visitor won't come back. And it is much more expensive to try to get that visitor, a new visitor, than it is to get a repeat visitor back. So we understood that, and so the new strategic plan outlined 4 kind of key initiatives that we were going to work on, and certainly the first one was still to maintain what we'd been doing all of this time, and that's marketing the destination as we always have, and to become the very best destination marketing organization that we could be. And I'm very proud to say that we have just sent in our application to renew our accreditation, which is the highest award given by the Destinations International organization. We have been an accredited organization by Destinations International now for 15 years, is that correct? This is not given lightly. There were a lot of hoops for us to jump through, and so you can be proud that your community has an accredited destination marketing organization. We're going to be stepping up our sales and marketing game with research and more targeted niche approaches to marketing, and you're going to hear a little bit more about that in just a second. The second initiative that they talked about was expand and enhance the visitor experience, and a few things we're working on, so you're sort of the first to hear about some of these things. We are creating a film trail of all the exciting movies and things that have been filmed here in the area, and I think you're going to, people will enjoy taking that trail and seeing all the things that have been actually filmed here. Enhancing our outdoor experiences, kayaking, bike trails, those kind of things. Working with our partners to expand and enhance our festivals and events. Any of you attend the Blues Festival a week or so ago? Wasn't that a great experience in downtown? The Blues Festival, we sponsored that, but we also sponsored a new thing with the Arts Council called video mapping. Some of you might know what that is. It's a light show that actually we projected on the backside of the old state capitol. And it was just a great addition. We want to do more of those kind of things as we improve that visitor experience. And we also want to improve, we have been working on improving our capacity to host more conventions and sporting events as well. We just completed a study of our youth and amateur sports facilities and also our marketing efforts with a nationally known consultant who came in and reviewed everything for us. We've got the information, we'll be working on that. We also have worked very closely with the city and the management company at the Raising Cane's River Center and completed a study for that center talking about what we need to do to improve the facility and also how we improve our marketing efforts jointly to get more regional and national conventions here in the city. The third strategic initiative that we wanted to talk about was improve our visitor mobility into and within Baton Rouge. We're working with the airport, we're working with the city on their Move Baton Rouge program, and we've just recently been in contact with the Department of Transportation talking about the new improvements to I-10 and how can we best get our visitors around the city to see the things that they need to see and enjoy. And as I said, we're working to encourage more trails and bike paths and ways we can connect our communities and our universities and our center city. We're already communicating those necessary improvements, as I said, to I-10 and Move BR, because I think that's going to be one of the biggest issues we face, especially as we come into 2024 and first of 2025. Our fourth initiative is to advocate and provide leadership on travel industry issues that may hold Baton Rouge back. And I call this sort of the filling the potholes. We need to make the path smoother, easier, cleaner, safer, more beautiful, more animated, and just simply more friendly for our guests and potential guests to book and stay with us. This is everything from litter to the travel industry workforce that we're working on. And we're doing all of this in concert with our board. We formed committees and we're working with leaders from each of these different areas that I've discussed and bringing them to the table with us and trying to figure out what is Visit Baton Rouge's role? How can we assist you? How can we help in whatever way that we possibly can to make these things work. Yeah, and it is a lot to accomplish, as you can see. We've got a big plate. But I'm very happy to say, with the leadership that's sitting at this table, and our board, our super partners in the industry, and our hardworking stakeholders, like Mr. Hightower's son, Stephen, we are going to get these things done. And we know that we're going to help move Baton Rouge forward. We also have 16 full-time employees back at the office on 3rd Street downtown, and we have 7 part-time ambassadors at the airport, at the what we call the new state capitol, and also in our office. But our business can really be divided into 3 buckets, and the first bucket is our destination sales. And that is a sales team focused on meetings, conventions, sports, and tour groups. And in 2022, Baton Rouge hosted 244 meetings and sporting events that we touched. Now, there were a whole lot more than that, but that's what our office touched. We either brought them in, we assisted them with hotel rooms when they were here. We assisted them with experiences. We helped them market their convention to their attendees. Whatever it took to get that event here, we were there for them. And we've just hired a new sports marketing director. His name is Mr. Jason Suit. He is actually, his second day is today, and he is already out in the field. He is traveling nationally to a national sports event to sell our city to the sports rights holders, and hopefully bring back a few of those amateur sporting events that we want here in our city. I know that you may have heard about this soccer the youth soccer tournament that is coming in June. It's made a lot of press, but I wanted to just say that it is a large event that's coming at the end of June. I think there's about 130 teams that will be here in the area for 9 days. That one event alone is supposed to bring in close to $22 million to our community. That one event. Now, you think about it. The people come in, they bring their family, they stay in a hotel, they buy our gas, they go to the grocery stores, they go to the restaurants, they enjoy our entertainment, they go out and buy sports equipment while they're here. This is has a huge economic impact. And not only that, those of you who may be fortunate enough to be grandparents, you know that you're also traveling with that grandchild who's going to this sporting event. So, you know, it's not just the parents and the immediate family. It's usually aunts and uncles and grandparents as well. So, the second bucket in our office is destination experiences and services, and that's really focused on making memories for our guests. And you experienced that today. That's hopefully a memory you'll take back with you. We do this in a lot of different ways for our visitors and groups, you know, everything from bringing baby alligators out to a baseball tournament so kids can enjoy petting the baby alligators, to creating a really wonderful high-end event with our Arts Council or other partners in the area. So it just really depends on the return on investment to our community as to how far we'll go to make an experience for someone. But because of these sales and experiences, and these meetings and conventions actually last year generated about $33 million. And again, these were only the events that we touched. Then we have marketing and communications, and that kind of speaks for itself. It is creating awareness about Baton Rouge and the great things there are to see and do and experience here. We have a very robust PR effort that works with travel writers, the media, bloggers, influencers, to generate earned media. And our intention is really to drive traffic to our website so that we can then funnel them into our to our partners in the field, those attractions and restaurants and other things to see and do. We've got a few key stats, I think, that we wanted to share with you. Again, social media reached more than 16 million people. That was just our efforts. 1.35 million website sessions were had last year, and that's the number of times people actually accessed visitbatonrouge.com. And we had more than 107,000 online partner referrals. That's us, someone coming to our website, and we're sending them out to a restaurant or to an attraction. Our top markets right now that we see are New Orleans, which we're glad about. Those folks in New Orleans usually think that there's nothing else to see or do in our state, but they are coming here and they are enjoying the things that Baton Rouge has to offer. Dallas, Houston, Atlanta, and of course it's really a drive market area. But with the additional flights, we are really looking forward to making sure that we market in those communities as well, like DC. Here's some of the examples of our print and digital media and some of the things that we offer, social media posts, those kind of things. We also have a coffee trail and a couple of other passes and things that we have put together in order to reach those coffee enthusiasts and bike enthusiasts and others. And here are some of the examples of some of what we do as our streaming ads. And Laura, if you'll play those for us, I'd sure appreciate it. So stay tuned this year for an exciting new culinary campaign that we're going to be launching. We're talking to our restaurants right now about putting something together for the end of the summer into the fall time period. And it's something that we will want to do on an annual basis because our culinary and food scene here is really growing, and we want to share that we have great food and great experiences here in this area. We also are about to send out a request for proposals to media companies and advertising agencies to assist us in doing the research and creating a new brand for Baton Rouge to better tell our story. And so we are going to be doing some focus groups. We want to do some surveys. We want to really connect with our community and all of you, because you are our storytellers. You are our media. You are our press. And we are going to need you in getting that message out about what a great place Baton Rouge is to visit. But as I said, we can't do this alone. We definitely need your help. We need your buy-in. We need your commitment. So what are we going to ask you to do? Here are the things we're asking of you. So you didn't think that you were going to get away with just being able to enjoy your lunch and hearing a talking head, right? So here's what we need. We need you to be a visitor in your own backyard. Please explore Baton Rouge. Take some time to go see what there is to do and see, and help us share that good news. We need you to do that, need that positivity. I've been doing that over the last 8 months that I have taken on this new job, this new role. And I'll tell you, there are some things that I just didn't realize that we had to offer. And I know that LPB is here, and the other night that we did a opening reception for Antiques Roadshow at the Burden Center and the Rural Life Museum. And y'all, if you haven't been out there recently, that is a place you need to visit. I had one of the folks from Antiques Roadshow, one of the appraisers, come up to us and say, he said, I've been with the show for 28 years. And he said, I have never been to a more beautiful destination or spot for recording our show than this one right here. And so we were pretty proud when we heard those words coming from someone that experienced with traveling the country. We want you to invite your friends and family here. The number one reason that people visit Baton Rouge, visiting friends and family. So you have to be our ambassadors with your friends and your family. Host a conference, a convention, or a meeting in Baton Rouge. How many of you are a member of at least one trade association or organization or that has meetings that travel in and around either the state or the country? At least one? Yeah? Have they ever been to Baton Rouge? Have you invited them? Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Ask them back. We want, and let us help you do that. We want to, as Visit Baton Rouge, the whole organization will jump through hoops to help you get your convention or conference here. Use Visit Baton Rouge staff, as I said, and visitbatonrouge.com as a resource. Connect with us on social media. That is critical. I bet all of you are on Facebook and Instagram and some of the other social, Twitter. Please connect with us and share our messages with your friends on those platforms. And be a raving fan. That's what we want you to be. Be a raving fan of Baton Rouge. Help us spread positivity, because that's what it's going to take for people to want to visit our home. So thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity to share with you guys today, and I'll be glad to answer any questions that I possibly can if we have time.
Joe, I have a question.
Sure, Cal.
If a visitor in Baton Rouge only had one day to do things, say they were coming to visit you for a day, where would you take them?
Okay, Kelly, you're really putting me on the spot, you know, because we have a lot of partners, and that is a very tough one. Well, certainly I would take them to the Capitol, because if you can go to the Capitol and see that beautiful place and go up and view the city from there, I'd take them along the Mississippi River and take a walk, especially at sunset, to see the Mississippi River. I would tour some of our great museums. One place I would want them to see is, of course, the Capitol Park Museum, which is just a great overview of our state, and then also it has a great part of it is Baton Rouge, and from a historical, political perspective especially, and so I'd want them to see that. I definitely want them to see the old state capitol. It would depend on what they like to eat, because we can just, every kind of possible food that you could want is here and represented, and so I think that, you know, it would depend on where they'd like to eat, but certainly there are some wonderful restaurants here, new ones and old favorites as well. So those are some of the places. I'd go back to Rural Life and Burden Gardens. I think that if our galleries, our art galleries are wonderful. And I think the culture here, I'd want to really showcase our culture and our heritages. And the political heritage here is just fun. I mean, honestly.
So echoing off of the one thing, well, I'm not going to make on the slide.
Thank you.
I heard you mention two things. Visitors, family coming to visit and have the meetings, conventions, sporting events, all of them all for. What is, would you say is most desirable to visit Baton Rouge as an organization?
What is it?
Most desirable, most critical to continue to feed, visit Baton Rouge as an organization and given the resources that it needs to be.
What is most critical to visit Baton Rouge? You know, honestly, I
Visitors, you can send them all over the state, but I find, having lived in other large metropolises, Chicago and Houston,
yeah.
I feel like I understand why they choose those cities and how that reflects to us, other than just the size of them.
Well, I think a couple of things. One is I've had the good fortune to work for a downtown organization, Chattanooga, for about 6 years, and I think that if you're going to show a potential visitor what you really are about, you're going to want to show them the heart of your city, and that's downtown. We'd also have LSU and Southern to also show them as well. But I do believe that we need to really focus in on our center city and make that our heartbeat.
So would you say that is also tied into whenever they say this bowling, they put all bowling at All-Star Lake and not whatever,
Right.
which is a few miles away, we want them to stay downtown?
Not necessarily. We just want to make sure that they see it as the signature of our city. We don't care where they stay in the community. I'm sorry?
See it, this, I'm getting at that staying downtown. What I see in other cities and why I enjoy going to other cities is I have never been elsewhere.
Right.
But I'm staying downtown and all I do is walk out, restaurants, I have Riverwalk, which I would like to ask you, is there any plans for creating in your video, you have that girl walking up to the river, we got the Rotary Club thing, it's beautiful, and, okay, so there's all those rivers, is there any talk about doing Riverwalk?
Well, I know that we do have a new downtown development director as well, and she's completing a strategic plan right now as we speak. She's in the middle of it, and I do know that her real focus is the riverfront area and making sure that she gets us back to that river. Yeah.
What is your total budget?
Right now, it's about 6.9.
Is the Renaissance still exempt from paying tourism taxes?
Yes, they are. There are two TIFs in town right now. One is the Renaissance and that's tax increment financing, and that's how they put those two hotels. It's the downtown Hilton and the Renaissance. Yes. Oh, I'm so sorry. What is our budget, and what does the Renaissance pay any of those occupancy taxes? Our budget is about 6.9 million, and our the Renaissance and the hotel, the Hilton downtown, are both part of tax increment financing districts.
My question is
Yes, ma'am.
about the hotel situation. What is the hotel situation downtown Baton Rouge, specifically the Bell?
Yeah, it's about to reopen. We just heard from get started with their renovation, I guess I should say. They were planning on doing just 80 rooms, I think, in the very beginning of remodeling only 80 rooms. I think you're going to be hearing in the very near future that they're planning to do all of that hotel now, which is a very positive move for us, because that is extremely important to attracting conventions and other events downtown. We have somewhere in the neighborhood of about 900 available rooms downtown right now. So that's a good number, but we certainly could use more to attract larger conventions and meetings.
Do you have enough parking downtown?
Yes, ma'am, we do. You know, it's in those parking garages, and I also want to say that downtown is one of the safer places statistically in the area. If you look at the footprint of downtown, it's a very safe place, and so I think that that's kind of one of those issues, that there's not enough parking, it's not a safe place, but both of those things are I don't want to say not true, but obviously are things that are out there that are missed. Yes, sir, Tim.
Yeah, about the RFPs coming out at the end of June for kind of rebranding, talk about that, kind of the timetable for it, and also I know there's an RFP done for the River Center, kind of what's the status of that also?
Yeah, two things. He wanted to know about the RFP that for rebranding for for Visit Baton Rouge. And when I say for Visit Baton Rouge, it is truly for our community. We want this to be a brand that all of us are proud to share with our friends, our families, our convention goers, our associations, our groups, and our sporting events. And we hope, I'm looking at Laura here, kind of putting her on the spot. She's only been in her office about, 3 months now? 4 months. So, but I am putting her on the spot. She and I have been talking about getting that RFP out sometime toward the mid to end of the summer, looking at the process of, can you hear me? The process taking probably somewhere about three to 4 months, and hopefully having that new brand out for 2024. And she's shaking her head, so I guess that's the real timeline. So, and then he also asked about the study that we helped fund and support along with the city and the management company for the Raising Cane's River Center. And that study is in its final stages, so I think you'll be seeing something come out from the mayor's office soon.
In your opinion, for the group, what's the most pressing need this year? What's the biggest challenge coming up this year?
You know, I think that mobility is a big challenge. He asked what the biggest challenge is and what's the, I guess, the most exciting thing that we're looking forward to. I think the biggest challenge really is sort of the improvements that we all know are necessary and have to happen and we want to happen that are coming on I-10 and all the Move BR projects. So we're very, at the same time we're concerned about it and getting our visitors around the city, we know that our job is really to communicate how best those visitors can get around. And what I think we're most excited about are the opportunities that our sports study laid out and what's coming with our convention study, and what opportunities will exist for both of those things.
What a big difference with all elections this year. Lieutenant governor with what close governor.
Well,
Good chance you might keep your lieutenant governor, but it's all up in the air right now, governor.
yeah.
Will
Well,
that affect a lot of what y'all looking at?
You know, our marketing efforts continue no matter who our elected leaders are, and we will continue to do our job the best that we possibly can do and partner with anybody that is in that office. And we partner very closely with the Lieutenant Governor's office, of course. He's over culture, recreation, and tourism, as you know. Yes, sir.
The rail to New Orleans and back that have been discussed on a list of importance, is that for the one or is that for the 10? I mean, where does it fall in terms of your thought of that?
You know, I've never put it on a scale. I think it's another opportunity for getting folks here. And certainly our international travelers are very interested in rail travel. And our international travelers start in New Orleans, and so we want to get them up here. And the best way to do that is by rail. And we also think that there are going to be a lot of folks, especially if they connect that Mobile, make that Mobile connection in New Orleans, that will want to come up for our sporting events and our LSU games and our Southern games. And so we're looking forward to that. We think there'll be some folks who will use that just for that. And we're seeing it. New Orleans is our especially Jefferson Parish, is one of our #1 visitor where we're getting our visitors from. It's one of our #1 markets. And so we want those people to come up and spend the weekend and make it easy on them to do that. So hopefully it'll be a very positive thing for us in the industry. I'm sorry? Jefferson Parish. His population. Jefferson Parish is just a larger population. No, it's people who are living there. Yeah. Yes, Mr. Hightower.
You may have touched on this, but if you had to do it further, what's the one thing you'd like to see in the Baton Rouge area that you don't maybe keep things?
Yeah. And how many of you saw the business? I'm sure you all did because you're in the media, but recently there was a poll that asked whether or not folks wanted to have another entertainment concept, and what that might be, I don't know, but I think we need to have a large visitor attraction, and we would love to see that happen. And I think that we really need to focus on what we're good at. What are the things we are focused on and in the area, and what can we make sure that we build that will attract people for a long time and attract those folks, more of those folks that we are already getting to Baton Rouge.
So to that, what you just said, I would ask you, what are those things? What I want to share with you, when I was in Houston, we'd go to Austin.
Yeah.
University, we weren't going there to stare at the University of College because it was known for good music on 6th Street. That's why we go.
Right.
Good music and late traffic. That was nothing else. It's Florence Robin. So what are we focusing on? That's why I asked about Riverwalk. What are we looking at hotels all the way in downtown?
Yeah.
Come in here and have wherever, wherever, we stay downtown.
I think there's a lot more, and he was asking, what is that entertainment concept? And I honestly, you guys, I don't, at this point, don't know. I think a lot more research should be done on this issue, and we're committed to being a part of that research and whatever it takes to get that thought process, work through. I'll just share with you that I worked for Chattanooga during the time that they were building the Tennessee Aquarium there. And they were building the Riverwalk along the Tennessee River. And the guy who was building that in our office actually said, we need to have that Riverwalk, but we need a string of pearls. And we need some real jewels along that string of pearls. And what are those jewels that we need to place there? And so he gathered the leaders in the community and said, let's come up with what those jewels need to be for us and that make us authentic. And I couldn't stand here and say that, say what that is specifically, but I do know that that would be a wonderful thing to have happen for Baton Rouge.
Chattanooga is great. I've been there many times, especially with our industry groups. Go there and come in. And Baton Rouge, I think downtown could really be something nice if they would just clean the sidewalks. We want a nice trip to the Watermark Hotel. Never stayed in a Baton Rouge hotel in my life on Baton Rouge.
Right.
So, and the museums, I babysat, my wife had COVID, I babysat for our 7 grandchildren who are from all other states. And museums in Baton Rouge are the best.
They truly are.
Even Chattanooga has great museums. We have phenomenal.
Fabulous museums. We truly do. And I think that that's why I asked, would you please go and be a visitor in your own town? Because I think you're going to experience and see things you haven't seen in a long time. And a lot of that happens in our museums and our attractions. So please be a visitor. I think I need to probably, unless y'all, I'm here to stay.
Probably one more question.
One more? Okay.
I'm not really asking a question, I'm asking for your help.
Okay.
I've been at our state capitol building, its exterior looks horrible. It needs,
Pressure washing.
Yes, and if you yourself believe that that is a major attraction, I ask y'all at Visit Baton Rouge to use your political powers to try to get that done. Because we drive down, they put the lights on, and it's terrible.
Aren't those lights wonderful,
Yes,
though? Those
they
new
are.
lights are just great. Noted.
Yeah, thank you.
I have a solution for that too. They don't properly seal those buildings. It's a really cheap, crystal water application that we can put on those buildings and solve the problem. That and the intersection.
Noted. We will tell them. Is there anything else I can do for anybody? And I'll be glad to hang around and answer any other questions that anybody might have. But thank y'all so much for having me. I just really enjoyed it.
And also, this is National Tourism Week. She's at Rotary on Wednesday. So if you get something later, go down the street.